Hey guys, welcome back to Different Faces. I'm Pamela,
And I'm Fatima.
and today we are going to be talking about a touchy subject. Not everybody has the same views on this topic, and it's about gentle parenting. A lot of people think that gentle parenting is being permissive or letting kids get away with everything.
Well, we have the definition. Gentle parenting is a parenting approach that encourages a partnership between you and your child to make choices based on an internal willingness instead of just forcing. This parent style asks you to become aware of the behavior you model for your child and encourages compassion. It welcomes emotions and accepts a child as a whole, another little human being. So,
Yes.
I want to get right through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you can start with your opinion, and I am pretty sure we have similar views, and then I'll give you mine.
Well, I am for gentle parenting. I try my best to use this type of parenting with my kids.
Were you gentle parent?
Right. Um, I like to think I was. I mean, I was never hit as a child. I mean, yes, my parents would talk to me firm or raise their voice a little bit, but it was nothing that like traumatized me or me ever feeling scared. So I would like to think I was. You?
Yeah, I think that the definition of gentle parent not necessarily means like okay you were abused. Um, so let's say like you say I was never abused, but were
Hmm.
were your parents were they respecting the fact that you were a little human being? Were they asking you and suggesting things? Was it a partnership? Or was it, mom and dad are asking you to do this because we say so and you have
Oh,
no other choice?
definitely that.
Right. So, in a sense,
Hmm.
I don't think any of us from like our generation really were gentle parent. We were told what to do because mommy and daddy say so. Or at least
Well, I
that was
mean,
my
then,
case.
well, in that case, then maybe I'm not gentle parenting my kids either because even though I give them a choice, they still have to do what I tell them to do. They
Hmm.
just choose how they do it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean, he's still doing it.
But then it goes back to like, do you think that you and your parents had a partnership between like the way you were being raised, where you had the
A
choice,
choice?
you
Ah,
know?
no, no, no.
No,
I
we're
don't
not,
think
we're
that
not saying
existed back then.
that did not exist at all back
Yeah.
there. Back then, it was like, this is what your parents are saying. You respect the authority, you respect your teachers, you respect the elders in general, and you're going to do it, period. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like with gentle parenting is still about respect. It's just that we take more in consideration their feelings and their emotions.
right. And when you will cry, what would your mom and dad say?
I guess it depends on what I was crying about, you
Okay.
know. So like if I was crying for nothing, say like I'm gonna give you something to cry about, you know. So
I
I
don't
guess it
think that
depends.
there's ever a time where a child cries about nothing. When we used to
Exactly.
cry, we were either upset, we were either tired, we were
Scared.
hungry, we were scared.
Hmm.
There were so many reasons why we could have been crying at that moment, but nothing is not it.
Yeah.
Um, and we were told, you know, you're crying about nothing, let me give you a reason to cry about. That's what we were told. And I remember
Yes.
we laugh about it today.
Yeah.
We laugh about it as an adult, but that is
And
not
it's
gentle
not
parenting,
funny. It's
and it's
not.
not
Or
funny
even just or even just telling your child like telling your child stop crying
in general.
in general. Like you are shutting down their emotions. So what are they going to learn to do as adults? They're going to, well, even though I feel sad or I feel upset or whatever I'm feeling, I don't feel safe to show my emotions because I
Hmm.
was taught to stop crying, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
my mom went to the extent of saying, we cry when someone dies. We cry when we are in so much pain we need to be taken to the hospital. We cry when something major is happening. If you don't have a house, if you lost a pet, with seriousness. So
Mhm.
really, there was no room for anybody to really feel any feelings. Um,
Mhm.
Now, granted, on one side, I'm like the strongest girl I know, the strongest person I know. Unfazed. On the other side, if somebody comes at me with feelings, I sometimes say, "Cry me a river," or sometimes I say, "Okay, get over it. You didn't die. You're okay."
You think you're like the strongest person you know because you were taught to only cry when something big happens. So when you see somebody
Mhm.
showing emotions because something that's small to you, it's like, well, that's not a big deal. Why are you crying? You know?
I was raised like that, so
Yeah.
it made me very. I don't have that much empathy with hypersensitive people because my mind
Okay.
has been programmed to be like, get
Mm-hmm.
over it. Cry me a river. It's not a big deal. Um,
Yeah.
but I know that's an extreme. That there are people that suffer and have feelings and whose feelings get hurt and therefore they're sad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it goes back to the question: do you think that you were gentle parent? In my case, growing up, I don't think I was gentle parent. And watching your parenting from your parents, without judgment, sorry, you were not gentle parent either, girl.
Maybe I'm comparing myself to someone that was definitely not gentle parent. That maybe might have been like hit with a belt or like, screamed like horrible things.
Abused.
Maybe that's what I'm comparing it to.
Would you consider yourself um, a mom that practices gentle parenting?
I like to think so.
Me too.
I'm not to the extreme of like super gentle parenting, but I definitely keep in consideration their emotions, their feelings, and try to keep that a priority. My main focus is for them to be able to express themselves, whatever it is that they're feeling, whether they're mad, sad. I want them to feel safe to do so.
Yeah, same here. I would like to think that I am practicing gentle parenting, or at least I am aware that my approach as a mom is a gentle one. It's one that comes with, asking and taking consideration their feelings, their
Hmm.
opinion, and it's just based on small things. Also being aware the way I was raised. So the way that I was raised, I think, made me who I am, and I am forever thankful to my parents, and I don't think I turn out to be a bad person. So
Hmm.
without going through one extreme of gentle parenting, also we have to educate and guide. But we did write 5 things that came up in our brain about why we think we are doing gentle parenting.
Yes. Okay, so my 5 ways that I try to gentle parent my kids. So number one, no corporal punishment. So basically, no hitting. No hitting in any way, whether it's a soft tap or something hard. Like I already mentioned, respecting and keeping in mind their emotions and making sure that they feel validated. So for me, I don't like to do timeouts. I don't do timeouts because I feel like that will be teaching them that, okay, well, I'm crying because I feel upset or I'm sad. And my parent, because I'm having a meltdown, let's say. And my parents are sending me to a corner to be by myself. So as an adult, that's teaching them, well, I feel sad right now. So let me go isolate myself and not talk to whoever or communicate. kind of goes in hand with validating and keeping in mind their emotions, but always listening to their needs, whatever need it may be, big or small. Always respecting their no. Whatever, whatever it is, for example, if like we're playing around and I'm tickling them too much and they say no, I
Hmm.
stop because I want them to learn that no means no, that their
Hmm.
no has to be a full stop. So always respecting their no.
That's
So
beautiful. Okay, so for
thanks.
me, um, I put asking her before almost anything, anything that has to do with her. Asking her if even something as small like, is it okay if I'm gonna wipe your mouth? Is it okay if we take a picture? Having her permission matters because she then learns she's a person that can make her decisions. And she's a little human of her own. There
Mm-hmm.
are consequences if she says no, of course.
Yeah.
Number two is asking what's wrong when I see that she's not her usually happy bubble self. She's a happy child. I know my child. So when she is not herself, and there's been a few
Mm-hmm.
times, asking her what's wrong. What's wrong? Are you not happy? Are you annoyed? Are you mad? Are you sleepy? Are you hungry? Kind of like similar to like seeing what their need is so that I can go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and help. Number three is letting her choose. So even if it's something as simple, ever since she was little, remember I stayed home for 3 years, going to her closet and saying, you want to wear this or you want to wear that? This shoe or that shoe? This underwear or that
Mm-hmm.
underwear? Um, Things are now easy because during Monday through Friday, she wears a uniform. But on the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
girl, we can go half an hour trying to figure out what outfit she wants. But just giving her the just letting her know she has options.
Yeah.
And number four, not forcing her to have a relationship or an interaction with anyone. And this is a big one. She
Yeah.
can be as close or as distant like she wants with anyone. I don't force
Mm-hmm.
sharing. I don't force giving hugs or giving kiss. And I think that this is just teaching her boundaries. She's allowed to interact with whoever she wants to interact. However, manners are important for me. So if you don't want to say hi with a hug, you have to say hi. And if you're not going to say
Yeah.
hi, we're leaving. Simple as that. I am a
Mm-hmm.
gentle parent, but I'm not going to also encourage disrespect.
Correct.
Number
Yeah.
five, I try not to react because, we're humans, but I don't react when she makes a mistake. And this comes from my mom. I am as clumsy as could be. I spill the drinks all the time. I trip, I drop, I break. And my Adi is very similar. She's breaking things in
Oh.
the house. She spills pook the elbow and then she spills the drink and no reacting at all. It's an accident. No worries.
Mm-hmm.
So much that when somebody does something, she will tell them, no worries, it was an accident. No worries.
She's
There's
so
no
cute.
zero drama here. Not to say that we don't have moments where we are on survival mode, we're rushing, where things get out of hand. It happens.
You mentioned that there's always consequences.
Yes.
There's people that believe that gentle parenting, is being permissive and that we can let the kids do whatever they want, which is not the case. Just
Hmm.
because we're not hitting them or yelling at them does not mean that there's no consequences.
Absolutely.
So,
This life has
mhm.
consequences. If we're not good citizens, we could end up, in jail or in a bad
Mhm.
circumstance. So I
Yeah.
think it's important. There's been times where I have tell her, you know what, we're gonna play this way or we're gonna do this, and then you give her three strikes and that's it. We're done. We're putting this away. We're not playing with this
Yeah.
anymore. You're not listening. We don't do the timeout, but when I went to her school orientation, I remember asking that question because I was very strong about not having timeout. Like I can't imagine my daughter in a corner facing the wall.
Crying.
And I
Mm.
have, imagine I kept her 3 years, and I just didn't want her little life to be crushed after I've been so loving. And she's been such a good girl that I don't think I needed, to be strong. Gentle parenting works for her, my child.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I know. So I was the only mom. They're like, anybody has any questions? And me, I had to be the annoying one. And I was like, do you guys do timeouts? And so the school has a behavioral coach on site, and she has a nice office. And
Okay.
she was like, actually, we don't have time out. What we have is quiet time. So I was
Okay.
like, I was still very like, you guys changed the name, you guys changed the
Mm.
label. So then
So
she's
where
like,
are they gonna be sitting?
okay. So every classroom has a quiet place, and it's usually like a little
Mm-hmm.
tent. The tent has like fidgeting toys, like
Okay.
with texture, books. Sometimes there's like essential oils around, and the students are encouraged to go to that space to calm down, to regulate their
Okay.
breathing, to, if you need a time for yourself, it's okay. However, if they refuse, or if they're just having a tantrum, which happens, is little kids and they have big emotions, then they go to this coach room. And this coach room
Mm-hmm.
does not look anything like a timeout section. I mean, you have
Okay.
sensory toys, you have interactive toys, you have books, you have feelings charts where you can name what the feeling is. And then eventually, if the kid keeps going to that coach or that room a lot, then there's an intervention with the parent. But I thought that was so good.
Okay. Yeah. Because in a way they won't feel like they're in trouble.
I was like reading about these meltdowns, read somewhere that all they need is connection at that moment. Like you literally hug them, you kiss them, or you interrupt their meltdown with a distraction. Like you literally drop down on the floor
Mm-hmm.
and you like, they will like look at you like something's wrong.
Do you think that interrupting their meltdown, like interrupting that emotion, helps them to regulate their emotions?
I don't think they're gonna
Because
regulate their emotions at this age.
well, no, they're not. But I'm saying like, because repetition teaches them, right? If every time they have a meltdown, you distract them with something else, then because whenever I think of like what we're doing now is shaping them as to how they will be when they're adults,
Yes.
right? So I'm thinking if you interrupt their emotion every time they're having a meltdown, how will they know how to go through the emotion as adults if it was always interrupted and distracted by something else?
Yeah, I think that you want to connect with them, and in the midst of
Mm-hmm.
the meltdown, you're not gonna get through. So if you interrupt and you change their let's say their thought process, and then now you got their
Mm-hmm.
attention, then you can say, okay, let's discuss. What's the feeling? Can you name it?
Mm-hmm.
Can you taste it? And the feeling might be, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired. How do you handle it?
Well, depending on what it is. If he's having a meltdown because he wants to do something that I won't let him do, like touch something that he cannot touch,
Hmm.
I let him cry. Like I'm there in the same space that he's in. I let him know that I'm right there. And when he comes down, we can talk. Because I've made the mistake of trying to talk while he's having the meltdown. Like trying to explain to him why he can't touch something while he's having a meltdown. Huge mistake. It just makes it worse.
Yeah.
But, I just let him cry, let him know I'm right there. I'm doing whatever I need to do. From time to time, I check on him. If it goes on too, like way too long, then, I just sit on the floor with him or sit him on my lap and until he comes down.
Because of defiance, I let her cry.
Yeah.
And I tell her, you want to cry, cry all you want. When mommy says no, it's no. And I
Yeah, let
explain
it
the
out.
no. I think the reason why gentle parenting is such a controversial topic is because I think not every child needs to be gentle parent. There are children, there are problem children. There are children that have behavioral problems. And if, let's say, your child has a behavioral problem and you cannot gentle parent, that doesn't mean that there are children that don't deserve to be gentle parent.
When you say behavioral problem, what do you mean by that?
There are children that just for whatever reason, I don't know if it's environmental, I don't know if it's the nutrition reasons, I don't know if it's like a difficult environment at home, in school, they are having problems behaving, problem with authority,
Hmm.
problem with defiance. For those children that maybe there's a diagnosis and they just haven't been diagnosed, perhaps gentle parenting is not the way to go. And every mother knows their child.
Well, if it's for any a diagnose that maybe let's say like ADHD or let's say autism or something of that sort, I feel like with more reason they should be gentle parents. Now, if it's a child that just misbehave because he knows he can, it's the parent's fault.
There are parents, I think, that are trying the absolutely best, and
Hmm.
they're fortunate mothers that have spouses and that they can rely on one another. There are single mothers that are working two jobs and have very little room to maybe educate. And for these moms that
Hmm.
are going through that, do we blame the parents? Do we blame life? Do we blame the circumstances? I mean, who can we blame?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say blame the parent, but some of the choices that parents make, they should look into that.
Yeah.
I don't want to put the blame on anybody because obviously, as a parent, we are all doing our best. Some people have more resources than others. Some people have more guidance than others. But I think it's also, the parents need to see what it is that they're doing instead of just saying, oh, he just has behavioral issues. You said that your daughter doesn't really have like a lot of meltdowns, but when she's had them, how do you regulate your emotions, or how do you try to not lose patience in order to help her?
Hmm. Sometimes I have like literally lost it. Like just start, get up, leave, do the dishes. Her dad comes in and I'm like, listen, I tap out. She's she's in Spanish, ingobernable. She's unmanageable. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes in and he steps in. Maybe when she was three, between 2 and 3, that sometimes she wanted to like raise her hands at me, and I was like, okay, I'm practicing gentle parenting. This girl just slapped me.
Oh my, that is the hardest part.
The first time I laughed because it's like I
Oh,
laugh or I cry.
but that's a huge mistake because then they think that you're playing with them.
I don't know how to regulate my emotions. I don't get like I would like to say that I'm very regulated. My emotions don't I don't have big emotions or little emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the house, it takes maybe a lot a little to take me off, like maybe I don't know, traffic or whatever. But inside of the house, I am very regulated for the most part.
For me, the times where I feel like I have to regulate my emotions the most is when I feel overstimulated or overwhelmed.
Some hypotheticals, because I
Hmm.
think we've been very blessed. I mean, you do have a son that has meltdowns here and there, and he's still very little. So he probably
Yeah.
still doesn't know how to verbalize his emotions. I've been very blessed with a little girl that's way mature her years. She doesn't really have meltdowns, and she's an easy little person to gentle parent. But how
Well,
about
he tells me like when he's feeling us, like he'll tell me like, "Mom, I'm sad because you won't let me do this,"
oh,
or yeah, he tells me like, "I'm sad because I miss grandpa." Like,
hypothetical is we have very manageable kids, and
hmm
what if that wasn't the case? What if we had, let's not think about toddlers because this is what, or the kids are toddlers. Let's think about
hmm
7, 8, 12, maybe a teenage that is just misbehaving, out of control, disrespectful. Where does the gentle parenting falls now?
I feel like it would still be the same. I don't like hitting is never an option. If it's a teenager and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I'm taking away whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Whatever it is, going out with your friends or playing any type of sport, whatever it is that you find joy, I'm taking it away.
I am depriving you from joy.
I mean, you don't get to have fun unless you do what you're supposed to do.
That's it.
Fun is a privilege.
Hmm.
So do what you have to do, and then you get to have the fun things. So I feel like it was still, obviously, the older they get, the more firm you can be, I believe. So, because at that age, they understand more.
Think that this new generation of kids that are maybe being gentle parent, um, and maybe have gone to an extreme, are lacking manners, are lacking standards, are going to have major problems when they enter the workforce. They're going to have
hmm
major relationship problems.
And in a way, they're being taught that there's no consequences, just do as you please.
For example, I teach my daughter to be, I don't know how I did this, but I always teach her, like, let's see who wins. Let's see who gets there first. Like, okay, for whatever reason, I'm a competitive type. I'm making a competitive person. I
hmm
think that nowadays it's all about, like, oh, everybody gets an award and
Oh,
everybody deserves it. So what are we teaching our kids?
yeah. Like, even if you put your effort, everybody's going to win anyway. So,
A for effort.
yeah, I don't know. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I feel like, in a way, also, like the world has become, or society has become, I don't want to say too soft, but in a way, yeah, because what you mentioned, everybody gets an award because everybody tried. What
Mhm.
happened to, no, you win because you did the best,
Yeah.
you know?
Or because you work really hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I want
Yeah.
a gentle parent, but I also want to raise a strong woman, and it's just not easy. It's not easy.
No, sometimes literally you have to stop and think, okay, I need to make sure of how I am reacting to something because, like you said, you want to raise strong kids, but also you don't want to be too harsh or hard on them either.
Hmm.
So
Finding the balance.
it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard out here.
It's hard. It is really hard.
Yeah.
I think that also kids learn by watching. So
Oh yeah.
if I am driving will always be the thing that makes me lose my cool. But let's say I'm driving and I'm trying to teach my daughter not to react at home, but then I'm driving and I'm here, somebody cuts in front of me, and I'm just like, ah, this guy. And what am I teaching her? Kids learn by watching. So
Yeah.
that's also a way to send a message, is how is mommy and daddy interacting? How are they with the homeless? How are they with somebody that might not treat them so nicely?
You mentioned that kids learn by watching. So the other day, me and my husband we were having like a little back and forth, a little disagreement. And it was nothing crazy, nothing like yelling or cursing. But you could tell that my son could tell that we were having a little back and forth. And he comes out of the playroom and he's like, "Dad, are you okay?" My husband's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then she's like, "Mom, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then he went back to his room. Like he literally came out to check on us to make sure that, So whenever he's like crying or having an episode, it's like, "Are you okay?" Like, "What's wrong? What are you feeling?" So he literally came
Yeah,
out to ask us if we were okay.
that's something similar. When I think Ari was maybe 2.5. Like for whatever reason, I think I was like around survival more mode around that time. My husband was a firefighter, and he would sometimes leave for like 2 to 3 days and come back for a day, like literally sleep the entire day, and then wake up and have to go back. And I was doing a lot. I was working from home and then handling baby and
Mhm.
household. Sometimes, it was sleep. It was hard to sleep. It was hard to shower. It was hard. Baby was still baby, and then all the way up to almost
Yeah.
3. And I remember just my neighbor asking if I needed help, and my neighbor came, and I don't know what she asked. Whatever she asked, I told her, and I just started crying, like
Hmm.
crying and crying and crying. And then I saw, little Addie getting up from her mat in her play area, and she come walking. She's like, "Mommy, are you crying?" In Spanish, "Mommy, are you crying?" And
Mhm.
I was just wiping my tears, and I was like, "No, no, I'm not crying." And then my neighbor, who's like a wise owl, said, "Yes, mommy's crying. Yes, mommy cries sometimes, because sometimes we're happy and sometimes we're sad. And that
Oh.
is okay. And when you're ready to cry one day, you know that you can do so." And she's like, she was just looking, she's like, "Mommy, hug." And I was like, "Yes." And then she gave me a hug,
Oh, yeah.
and I
And that would
cried.
cry made you cry even more.
Oh my gosh. Just to know that Addie can see me cry, and for her to know that mommies cry sometimes, and that's okay.
Honestly, me for the longest, I don't know if this stems from my childhood or just previous relationships,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
I don't like when people see me cry. I mean, I don't want my kids to see me cry.
Hmm.
So, whenever I have to just let it out, I will go to the bathroom. I haven't reached a point for them to see me cry and let them know, "Oh, it's okay." But,
Yeah,
it's just like
yeah,
a me thing because I don't like to let anybody see me cry. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
tough skin, tough
Vulnerability,
skin.
tough skin. We were raised like that, and vulnerability is, it's scary for us. But we are all gonna get there one day where we have to be vulnerable, and we just need to choose who we are safe enough to do so.
Yeah.
Who will embrace us or listen to us? Who will judge us?
Hmm.
Who might just be like a chisme? You know
Yeah.
who I saw cry the other day?
I feel like the worst my mom, because my dad never, um the worst my mom has done is maybe like pull my hair, like what is this called? Well, the
Sideburn.
little hairs, oh, sideburns. Like she would pull that. One time when we were living in gay house, my my dad, I don't know if he was really gonna do it, but because I remember I asked if I could do something, and my dad was like, "No."
Mhm.
So I walked out of the room, and I didn't mean to slam the door, but the door slammed.
Oh yeah, the door slammed on its own.
No, like I tried to close it, but whatever, it closed really hard. Because as soon as that closed, I was like, "Oh shit!" So I walked to my room, and then I hear my dad coming. And at that time, me and my sister, we had bunk beds, and I was at the top. So I literally jumped to my bed, and my dad came into the room with a belt. With a
No.
belt. He didn't even have to say anything. I started crying because he's never hit me before. I started crying. I was like, "No, please, no." He was like, "Come here." And I was like, "No." And then he was like, "Don't do that again." And then he walked out. Oh my god. I thought I was gonna like get hit so bad for the first time. And we were in high school at that time. I was so scared. But yeah, I've never been hit. But that was the closest. And I was so
Yeah.
scared.
Wait, well, my sister and I were spanked. We were spanked, but it was never like an abusive spank. It was like
Hmm.
like you said, pull of the ear, smack of the mouth for answering back, and it was like
Yeah.
a smack on the butt for whatever. And we were really good
Hmm.
girls. Well, I was a really good girl, so
I was too.
although I think it was a little bit of like survive mom being on survival mode and bad day, and we didn't listen at that time. It was never
Hmm.
abuse. It was never like belt or a wood or gosh, I have a concussion. No, no, it was a loving spanking.
I mean, I wouldn't say loving, but
It, it was just like a mom being a mom back in the days.
yeah. When I've talked to my friends, if I was hit before, like when I was a child, I would hear stories of their parents hitting them with like wires or a broom or like crazy things. I'm like I get in shock because I couldn't bring myself to hit a little person. Like obviously no shame to you discipline your child how you see fit.
No, yeah, shame
They're
on the
your
parents that
child.
hit their kids. Shame on you. I'm sorry, you
Oh,
can say no shame. I will give you shame. You should not hit your kids.
okay.
Period. In my case, whatever. It was a little spanking. I don't
Mm,
think I was abused, but the parents that are abusive, that they can control themselves, they shouldn't be parents. So give your kids up for adoption, but don't abuse them. There's kids that have died in the hands of abusive parents,
well, that's true.
and
Do you remember that book that we read when we were younger? That child called
the child
it.
call it.
Oh
The
my
child
god,
call it.
that
The reason
is
that's the reason why we're gentle parent. The child call it traumatized me when I
that
was
is
12.
oh my that is the saddest book
If you haven't
ever.
read the book, read the book
Oh my god.
because you will start gentle parenting after.
It'll change your mind because that book was very graphic.
Yeah.
The way he described the things that he went through.
Hmm.
The thing that I remember the most about that book is when he told the story about how his mom he did something that he wasn't supposed to do and she put his hand on the stove. I don't know if
Hmm.
you remember that part.
I remember that.
Oh my god.
There's also a
Wow.
documentary on Netflix. I don't know if you remember. I'm trying to remember the little kid's name. I think his name was like Gabriel. Do you remember?
Yes. They locked him somewhere and they wouldn't feed him. That was horrible.
And that kid died. His name is Gabriel Fernandez. But then this type of abuse that they did to poor
No, it's a
little
whole nother
Gabriel
level.
Fernandez, that's on another level.
But also, it's not only the parents because the social workers because multiple times the cops were called, social workers would go to see him and nobody did anything.
The
Nobody
system
did
failed
anything.
him.
Oh my God, 1,000%. Hmm.
Well, I like this topic. I think I can talk about it for days, and I can debate with any mom that wants to challenge us about not gentle parenting our kids.
Yeah, I feel like if there's anybody that you know
Okay.
that maybe you feel like they have a different way of raising their child, different way of parenting, I feel like we should bring somebody in that gives us a different perspective, a different point of view.
For those who are against it, maybe you need a little more information about it. This is our approach. We are welcome to other approaches if anybody else
Hmm.
has something different.
I feel like, gentle parenting is not for everybody. Just don't abuse your kids. That's
Yes.
it.
Yeah. And disclaimer, we are not psychologists, we're not child experts, we are not behavior experts or therapists or anything. We're just two moms that are practicing this approach.
All right, so this is it for today's episode. Before we go, we want you to take a deep breath in. Let this be your reminder that it is okay to slow down, embrace your growth, embrace your face, and thank you for being here with us on Different Faces. Bye.